Welcome back. Today, last week we basically discussed that which technology or which kind of research is more potential for making a spin-off out of it. Today, in this video, we will discuss from a different point of view. We'll try to understand what kind of which type of industry contain more university spin-offs. That means, what are the research domain that are more potential to create university spin-offs and why that happens. So today's video will discuss that. So not all research field produce equal number of spin-offs. So here we can see data for MIT spin-offs that happened between 1980s to 1996, and we can see that almost 31%, that means 1/3 of the spin-off belongs to the category of biotechnology, whereas 23% is software and materials, contain 11% of spin-offs in that period of time, and also importantly medical device, something that I am interested, that contain 10%. That means almost 100 out of 10 spin-offs are related to medical devices. Then of course mechanical devices 7%, computer hardware 6%, semiconductor 4%, robotics 4%. So it is evident that certain technology or certain research field are more prone to produce university spin-offs than other. It doesn't depend on the coolness of the research or whatever you want to say, but rather there is a distinctive reason for that, and we will explore that in the video. It will be a short video. So this is the data for MIT spin-off happened in between 1980s to 1996. This is another set of data from different countries, Sweden, and I think the time period is not given in the material that I am using to make the video. I should have seen the paper itself, but anyway, it's not that important. But here also we can see the similar kind of trend, that almost 20% of the spin-off is biotechnology and medicine related, and then 16% is computer, electronics is 13%, industrial equipment and machinery 12%. So similar kind of trend is there, and we can see that in both cases, in both country, the biotechnology is a field where university spin-offs are more common. And in this video we'll try to find some answer for that, why it happens, and in that way we will be able to understand how to deal with our research, or how to deal or plan our research in a long-term basis, and what are the probabilities and what are the problems of making a spin-off out of your research. You may be working related to different field, maybe material science, semiconductor, etc., and you will understand that in those fields why it is not that easy to produce a spin-off out of it. Now in this slide we will discuss specifically why there is more spin-off in biotechnology compared to other fields. So the first reason, the author of the particular chapter here, for depending on which I am making this video, he or she explains that the first reason is long product development horizon. Now what is it actually? Now that is, I think in Indian context it will be not easy to understand, and as I had seen here that the particular book and the context is actually US based, so the author is from US, so I think what he means is that that the possibility that as an academic researcher you can always go to the market and raise money and all this thing, so which may be not true in India, or who knows, I don't know specifically, but this will be interesting to know. But the thing is that so I will read it from here. The explanation, the second explanation lies in commercialization horizon in physical sciences. University spin-offs are a better commercialization vehicle in life sciences than in physical sciences because the commercialization time horizon is much longer. She argues that product development cycle of 18 months in physical science are too short for university spin-offs, because university inventions are typically very early stage technologies in time of invention. They require significant amount of subsequent development time before they can be brought to market. In industries in which product development times are relatively short, spin-offs are unable to raise capital from private markets, contracts with suppliers or customers, or attract other stakeholders who have expectation for short product development cycles. Now, why in physical science, that means anything related to physics, or chemistry, mathematics maybe, why the products development cycle is 18 months, so that I don't know. So this particular data must be related to something going in the US, or some regulatory mechanism in US. But so one can understand that in biotechnology, like certain vaccine development, you should not expect that within 18 months a vaccine can be produced, actually, because it will need some trial and the trial and all this thing. So from that point of view, it is understandable that life science needs more time for product development, and hence the time is given there, and that helps the university people to raise capital and all this thing. And there are other reasons also why physical science in general has less spin-off compared to life science. And of course, the life science means here we are talking about biotechnology. Now, second reason is that the author of this chapter argues that there are more expertise people in university for the biotechnology field than in industry. And I think we can relate to that, because if you go to any biotechnology or this this kind of a laboratory, you will see they are working more on experiments, I will say. Or maybe I'm not really a good person to talk about that. So anyway, third explanation for the disproportionate likelihood that biomedical inventions will lead to spin-offs lies in expertise of universities in creation of biomedical inventions. In contrast to technologies like computer software, where the true technical experts are often employed in industry, the common concentration of biomedical expertise lies in universities. As a result, university researchers invent a much larger percentage of patented technologies in biomedical field than in other domains. This ability to produce more valuable and useful technology facilitates the creation of biomedical spin-offs. So that is the passage I am reading, and I think that is true to some extent. I think there must be some paper in itself which shows that a lot of patents are generated from the university, specifically for biotechnology field, rather than on other field. Maybe it may not be true. So that is the second reason. And third reason is customer ignores cost. So this is simple. So what it means is that, for example, I can give you a simple example that let's say talk about a product which basically in biotechnology may be cure of cancer or certain type of cancer. Now, as a customer who is like a family of the diseased person or the person who has cancer, they generally don't think about what are the cost of it, or more specifically saying that okay, so there are like 2-3 types of medicine, and the doctor says that the expensive one is very good and it had a good track record and all this, and then the family will never choose the other. So it will be, so here the cost thing is ignored by the customer. So that's why it is good for spin-off, because the spin-off doesn't have to compete with the market for cost, so which is not really something that spin-offs are good at. Actually, those are category where the established companies will be will be much better, because they have already existing structure and all this thing, so they can produce same thing with less money. But spin-offs can be not in optimal position to produce a cost effective product actually. So which is not the case in, from at least from the customer point of view, it is not the case, not the priority. They are generally able or like to buy the most effective thing at whatever the cost it is. Now, fourth explanation is discrete nature of biomedical invention. So let me read it from this. The explanation for tendency of spin-off companies to be found in biomedical area lies in discrete nature of biomedical inventions. Biomedical technologies can often be used independently of other pieces of technology. For instance, a cancer drug can be used independently of other inventions developed by established pharmaceutical companies. In contrast, an automobile ignition system cannot be used in absence of other inventions established by automobile companies. Because of the discreteness of biomedical technologies, spin-offs that commercialize these technologies can often do so regardless of technologies used by established firm. So we understand that what is happening here, that these are more independent, like one can just sell the cure for cancer or like the certain part of it easily, but this is not the case for other industry actually. And finally, strong IP protection, which is I think something that we discussed in our previous last week's video also. So patents on drug and other pharmaceuticals are relatively strong because a slight change in molecular structure radically alters the efficacy of drug. In contrast, patents in electrical devices are relatively weak because even a major change in electrical circuitry often has very little effect on the workings of an electrical device. So we know that something called patent infringement, where by law patent doesn't really give you the ultimate right that whatever close by, no one can do it, but rather it's more subtle or more easy. Patent infringement is very easy thing to do, because there is a certain process that you invented and it contains, let's say, part A, part B, part C, part D, and let's say someone is interested in using your same patented technology. So what they can do is they can switch the part A, part B, so he can start with part B and part A and then part C, part D. Then it will not be lawfully, he is not making a crime. So it is called patent infringement, and this is more easy to do in other field, not easy to do in the biotechnology, where let's say there is a drug or certain therapeutic method, and if you change something here and there, it has a chance that it will fail or it doesn't have the same efficacy and all these things. So that is the last reason why spin-offs are more easy to be formed in biotechnology field than in other. So yeah. Now we will discuss from little bit different point of view that what are the characteristics which lead to spin-off. And I think this is somewhat similar to what we discussed in previous video, last week's video, but maybe some extra points we can make it here depending on the context of the chapter or the discussion that we are doing. So the first point is effectiveness of patent in industry. So this is similar to having a strong patent, but maybe something extra we can learn it from here in this passage. So I'm reading from the book itself. Spin-offs are more common in industries in which patents are more effective. In industries with strong patents, firm founders can establish value chain necessary to exploit a new technology before knowledge of how to imitate it is diffused to competitors. Moreover, strong patents facilitate the process of raising capital from financial institutions, which is important for new firms that lack cash flow from existing operations. So that is the reason why effectiveness of patent is important. And again, that is something maybe I'm not saying for to be this is universally true, but that is found to be more true in biotechnology field. But maybe depending on the particular research that we are doing, it may find that we may find that the patent that we are talking about or we are conceiving can be very strong itself. So then we are encouraged to go for spin-off or at least hope for licensing. Second reason is something about asset in marketing, distribution, and manufacturing. So for example, that certain thing spin-off that you are thinking about that may need good contribution from the marketing and distribution and manufacturing side, then only a competitive product can be built. So, and in that case it is very hard because already the established company, they have the resources of marketing, distribution, and manufacturing, and to compete with them it will be difficult. So established firm obtain control over these assets, and vertical integration of the value chain makes it difficult for new firms to obtain them, except by building them from scratch, which is costly endeavor. Now third reason is age of the field. That means how old the field is, the applied science field that we are talking about. Whether if it is a very old field, then it's not easy, but if it is a new field, it is easy actually. And reason is that spin-offs are more common in industries with a younger technology base. Researchers have provided three explanations. First, when the technical base of industry is young, the amount of accumulated knowledge necessary to compete in industry is relatively small, as the knowledge has been developed for a relatively short period of time. Second is, as the technological base of the industry mature, the basis of competition shifts. Product innovation, which is paramount when the technological base is young, becomes less important as the technological base ages. Process innovation and effort to lower production cost become more central. Because new firms are disadvantaged at process innovation. So this is a very good term. So we talk about process innovation is something that relates to improving a little bit, and this innovation may relate to cost effectiveness also and making the good product also. Third reason is established companies tend to acquire the complementary asset necessary to exploit a technology in an industry. Thus, as the technological base of an industry ages, these assets become more and more difficult for new firm to obtain. So that is more about why age of the field also matters. Now, third thing is segmentation of market. Sometimes the product that you are thinking out of, you are conceiving of, through building a spin-off, that is related to very certain segment of the market. In that case, it is easy to for making a spin-off because maybe the competition will be less. So here I'm reading from the book itself. University spin-offs are more common in markets that are segmented. In general, new technologies tend to be exploited first in small market segments by new firms because new technologies begin with limited reliability and relatively high cost, requiring their exploiter to focus on segments in which the advantages of technology are greatest. So that there goes the market segmentation part, why segmented markets are better for spin-offs. And finally, average firm size also important. So this may be not too much important, but I think what the author is trying to make here is that sometimes certain technology or certain thing needs a big team to build up. In that case, it needs large capital also for hiring large number of people. So I'm reading from the book again. Spin-offs are less common in industries in which firms tend to be of large average size. The researchers have offered two explanations for this pattern. First, large average size means that the minimum efficient scale in an industry is relatively high, raising cost of the entry and inhibiting the activity. The cost of entry is higher in this industry because new firms typically enter industry at less than minimum efficient scale and so must operate for a time less efficiently than established firm and have to grow more to reach an efficient size. So that is all about few points why or what are the characteristics you should see in an industry, and so that the spin-off is more probably in that industry. Yeah, so that's it about this slide. So this is the reference of the particular book that from where I create the video, and I think this is the chapter 7 of the book. So that's it about this particular video. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next week, and hope I will bring some interesting content in the next week. Bye bye.